Hi, everyone. Kevin Martin, Chief Research Officer at I4CP, coming at you with our recap of our May 29th Senior HR Leader COVID-19 Response Series call. Now, we're going to start with a look back 2 weeks ago. The head of HR for Prudential, Lucien Alziari, ended the call with this fantastic call to action for his peers. In his words,
I think the question for all of us at the moment is, what we know this is our time. All right, the financial crisis was the time for CFOs. This crisis is our time. And so what are the 2 or 3 things that you're going to do over the next 6 months that are going to dictate what kind of company you're going to have in 5 years' time?
Lucien summarized where any CHRO at a high-performance organization is right now, which is thinking ahead as to, of all the great things that have happened and surfaced from our companies, what muscle do we need to maintain and continue to strengthen? What muscle do we need to let atrophy so that the rubber band that's been stretched in many ways doesn't go back to its original shape, so that we can maintain a lot of this greatness going forward? That's exactly where we picked up this week with Kiersten Robinson from Ford. Ford is undergoing a massive business transformation led by CEO Jim Hackett, and Kiersten is a strong partner to Jim in that endeavor, where culture transformation is central to the overall business transformation. Now, of all the things Kiersten shared with us on the May 29th call, a few things stood out to me. One was, and we'll talk about this in just a moment, I love how Ford has galvanized thousands of its employees who have volunteered to be part of a street team. And you're going to hear how they have helped shape the culture going forward, as well as the employee experience that Ford needs to maintain through this pandemic. Also, Kiersten talked about 5 core rules that the firm needed to have in place to ensure that it would maintain its promise of being the world's most trusted company, while also delivering on the safety and the employee experience to its workforce. In Kiersten's words, here's what she talked about their street team.
To engage them, we have street team members in every market representing every functional discipline. And so we would test ideas with them. We're thinking about this. How do you think it would land? There are any unique considerations you want us to take into account? But we also gave them problems to solve so that they could, one, feel as though that they were very much a part of the solution, but also we wanted to make sure that everyone felt empowered and we were really working this problem collectively.
Yeah, that co-creation element has been instrumental to Ford's ability to have that business transformation and culture transformation moving in the right direction. And you know, one of the things that Kiersten shared with us is that the 5 core rules that they put in place were really core conditions that need to be in place to fulfill on their promise. And one of the core rules is that the employee experience needed to be integrated into the design of everything that Ford does. And that's critical, the employee experience. In fact, this is a data point from a study that we've just conducted that we haven't published yet, but it was a large global study. You could see that 69% of the executives believe that as a result of the pandemic, what employee experience means at their firm is going to change to a high or very high extent. In Kiersten's words,
these 5 core rules we developed very quickly, and they've been almost a foundational artifact for us that we bring out in every one of our weekly communication sessions, just to reinforce and remind us around how we're making decisions. So even though we may not have the answers, you can have confidence that the answers will be aligned around these 5 core rules.
That alignment is critical. And in fact, I'm certain it's central to this. And Kiersten and I co-created this poll question. There were over 170 senior HR leaders on last Friday's call. 75 of them answered this poll question. And you could see the question was, when you think about how work must get done differently at your firm, this is really building off of Lucien Alziari's call to action from the previous week. Which of the following do you think would make the greatest impact? And you can see that 68% believe that it's all of the above here. In other words, rethinking work, role design, work design changes, rethinking when and where work needs to get done, rethinking who will get that work done. In other words, reimagining the talent supply chain, reimagining or rethinking what leadership means and reinforcing that as well. It's a holistic approach that the leading CHROs are taking as they shape their businesses
in
going
HR,
forward.
it's go time. It's go time for us. And so let's break the constraints. Let's really not let this crisis go to waste and fundamentally use this as an opportunity to reimagine and redesign the way we're going to work in the future.
Yeah, I loved what Kiersten just said, and I clicked the button a little quick. Sorry. She said it's go time for HR. And that is exactly it, following on what Lucy and Alziari had to say. Now, this coming week on Friday, we have the CHRO, Pat Waters of ServiceNow, who will be tag teamed with the CHRO of Mercury Systems, Emma Woodthorpe. Now, I had a chance to speak to Emma this morning, and I love the way she's framing where she's driving the business, framing it in the current challenges that they're faced with now, in her words.
So it's kind of taking some of the challenges and challenging the norms in this time where it is stretched, but also tying it to things that you were trying to do already or were challenged with already. And how can this actually help you solve some of those issues you're having before?
So we'll look forward to building on that dialogue on Friday. We look forward to having you be a part of that call as well. Make sure you register. And until then, stay safe and be well.